I've had a lot of alumni in the past that have taught me at previous groups, and just interacting with them, I got exposed to the culture, and it was something that I found that I really liked.
What inspired me to become a part of this cymbal line, I feel like first was what drum corps have cymbal lines, and then I found the Scouts 22 video, and I watched that like 100 times, just like top down, like on loop basically.
Something that inspired me to become a part of the Madison Scouts cymbal line was seeing how much this activity affected me when I first started and how much there was still to learn from this activity. If I'm being honest, I saw a video through Instagram, I believe, that was of the Madison Scouts 22 line doing some stuff, and for where I was in my development, that was far and away from anything I'd ever seen or done myself. And so it was the first time I really felt myself wanting to be more and not wanting to just be where I was.
I think a lot of the stuff the staff talks about is just having a good time. Like, they're tough on us and they want us to be good and they'll push us to be the best we can, but they're not going to push us farther than we need to be pushed to just break us down. They're able to build us up without breaking us down, and I think that's a really good culture here.
I made the decision to come back and teach at the Madison Scouts after aging out because I felt really moved by my experience at the drum corps. I built some of my strongest friendships there, and I felt so much growth as a person, and I wanted to be able to give back to the drum corps and pass that on to others.
I will say my favorite tradition that we have is kind of just like referential visuals and things like that, like stuff that like you can go back, see, like they did in 2016. Like we have a visual where we like hold the cymbals a certain way, or like things just like our tap choke prep that we have where it's like one cymbal's vertical and the other's at like A.
There's a lot of traditions, but I think there's just one that we have where after shows we line up in a line and we just walk straight off the field, bumping our hats on our cymbals. And I think it's really cool because we do it ourselves. Like the rest of the corps, they head straight out the corner of the wall just to get off the field, and we take our time. We're the center of attention after the show, and I think I really like that.
I think at the Madison Scouts we try and set a good balance of valuing tradition and also innovation. With some places I feel like tradition is sometimes used as a means of confining what you can do in terms of you have to keep to the same thing over and over again. But I think the thing that's inspiring for the future generations is seeing things that are creative and exciting and new. And so in a lot of ways I feel like the tradition of the Madison Scouts is to be the ones at the forefront of the activity and pushing it forward.
I think the experience of being a MadCym is knowing you have a job to do. So when we pick up our cymbals, like we're in the zone. But when we have our cymbals off, it's fun. We're all joking around with each other.
A lot of times when we're brainstorming, we'll all be huddled in together and we'll be trying all these positions and stuff. And we'll be trying to think of, oh, what's the weirdest way we can hold it? Like, does this position look cool, or is it better like this? Or like weird ways we can point our elbows to like kind of change things up. And other times we just go for like the classic things and the perfect places, and it hits a nice blend.
I think some ways that the Madison Scouts cymbal line balances their tradition with their innovation is by having deep roots with our alumni through our staff and through our just alumni that we meet along the road. We find a lot of joy in adding their spin on what our show is and how we can incorporate that into the new era of cymbals and how we choose to go about that.
I would say to someone that wants to be a MadCym someday to not be afraid. You know, just kind of put it all out on the line and be a little uncomfortable. Like if you are not the most confident person, but you know, you're really inspired by the MadCyms, you know, come out to audition and just give it a shot.
To anyone that wants to be a Madison Scout cymbal player one day, never count yourselves out. You're capable of so much more than you ever have dreamed of. You just have to make sure you give yourself the opportunity and the chance to try it and to follow through with it.
If anyone out there wants to be a Madison Scout marching cymbals, like for sure, like reach out, audition, do it. talked to us about our experience, we all like loved it, and we want to keep the thing going.
I didn't have access to much of like training through what the activity is now, and really seeking that out for myself was what got me to the level where I am, is wanting to find out what they were doing and what these activities were and how they could do it. So seeking out information on your own and building those skills from the ground up gets you to that point where you can start understanding what the envelope is and how to push through it. Now that I'm a part of it, I see that little girl sitting and watching every time I do something. Now that I'm a part of it, I see so much of where I came from and how it's really built to where I am now. And I'm in almost like an instant, I'm what I always saw. Like I'm becoming exactly what I always saw, and I will always see that little girl like sitting in the lot or sitting, you know, behind the fence, wanting all of that she could see online, and finally being that, and being that for other people now.